Let's see this question. A can do a work in 3 days and B can do the same work in 6 days. If A and B are working on alternate days, starting with A on first day, B on second day, A on third day and so on, in how many days the work can be completed? So what they are trying to say here is, one is that capacities are given. They are saying that A can do a work in 3 days and B can do the same work in 6 days. This is what is given, and the way they are working is quite different from all the previous questions. See, earlier we have seen two models. One model is A and B are working alone and then both of them will combinedly do it. That is one way. Other model is one of them has worked for some time and the other one is going to replace the second one. That is second model. Now this is a completely different model where A is going to work for one day and again on the next day B is going to work. If you think that it is day 1, on day 2 B is going to work. If work is still remaining, on day 3 again A is going to take and work, and again on day 4 B is going to work, right? So this way they are trying to do the work. Now they are asking, if this is the way they are doing the work, how many days will it take for them to finish the work? That is what is asked. So again, we cannot apply the formula here. I mean, yes, we might try to derive a formula there, but instead of that you can use the common sense and solve it. So what is the method? Always try to find out the rate of work. In order to find the rate of work, we should assume the work, right? Let us assume that the total amount of work is 6 units. Why 6 units? I have taken the multiple, no big reason, okay? Now if that is the case, then what is the A's rate? A's rate is 6 by 3, which is 2 units per day. What is the rate of B? 6 by 6, which means 1 unit per day. What does it mean? In one day A can finish 2 units of work and in one day B can finish 1 unit of work. Therefore, in one day A can finish 2 units and in one day B can finish 1 unit, right? Now, given them a turn, I am using a new word here called as a turn. Turn means, I am just introducing it. It is not a standard terminology. To solve all such questions, I am just introducing new terms. So one term is turn. Turn is given one day for A and one day for B, how much work they will be able to finish? They are able to finish 3 units in one turn, isn't it? 3 units in one turn, right? Okay. Now what is the total amount of work we have taken? 6 units. Therefore, in one turn 3 units are done. So definitely we need one more turn, which means again A will work for 2 units and B will work for 1 unit. So totally in 4 days they will be able to finish it off. Now since the question is small here, in the sense, since the amount of work is small, I mean not the amount of work, since these numbers are small, I am able to show you everything in this picture. But then if these numbers are big, we will not be able to do the same question using this picture. We might have to use the size of the turn or the number of units that can be done in one turn and then take the total amount of work and divide it and find out the number of turns required to finish the work and then convert the turn into days. For example, in this model, what you are supposed to do is take the total, the units that can be done in one turn. See this? We are able to finish 3 units in one turn. Now what is the total amount of work? 6 units. Therefore 6 units can be finished in 2 turns, right? So how many turns are required? 2 turns are required. And what is the time of each turn? 2 days. Therefore 2 into 2 is 4. That is how we are supposed to solve it. Anyway, we are going to take more examples and I will explain you all the possible cases in these questions. That way you will get the confidence. And before stopping it, let me tell you one more thing. You might also think that since I have taken 6 units of work here, you might think that I am able to finish in 4 days. If I had initially assumed this work to be large, let's say if I had taken this to be 12, you might think that the number of days might increase. But then in the initial video, if you remember, I already shown you that whatever units of work you take here, the final answer will not depend on that. The final answer in this case will always be 4. Why is that so? If you increase the work here, then the rate here is going to increase. Instead of 6, if you imagine it to be 12, right? Then what happens to the rate? 4 units. What happens to the rate? 2 units. Therefore, in 2 days, which means in one turn, they will be able to finish 6 units of work. Therefore, in 4 days, which means in 2 turns, they will be able to finish this complete work. So, irrespective of this units, you will always get 4 as the answer for this question, right? And there are various extensions to this question. One model is what happens if B starts the turn instead of A, that is one kind of model. And what happens if our total work is not an integral multiple of the turns work, right? So let's see all those models one after the other. So for this one, this is enough. Let's see more questions and you will understand it. Okay.